Hey, welcome to Two Guys Corvette. Yeah, we're back on our grill today, man, but we got all kinds of upgrades for the car and the motor, including suspension, brakes, some really fun stuff.
Yeah, but you can see we're not going to go anywhere fast unless we finish the engine build. So follow along as we put this thing together, start to put it that way, but we're going to be back and forth. We're going to be everywhere doing everything. Stick around.
All right, man, back at our LS1, we got a couple upgrades in it. At the bottom, if you remember, we put kind of back stock, but we did find some $799 heads, a small upgrade from those 317 heads that originally came on the LS1. We bumped up the camshaft. We have a C5 Z06. My man Byrd's getting ready to drop in some lifters, all good.
Yeah, to handle all that power, we put new seal power pistons, a set of Molly rings, and we are ready to drop these tappets in. Now we've been soaking them in oil just to make sure they're nice, lubed up and ready to go, and these guys will wiggle down.
Those trays make it really easy to drop in as the days of old. You set them in there, they hold it, and also when you're doing cam swaps, you can just pull the old cam out, the lifter's blown up, they sit right there in those trays, put your new cam in, you're good to go.
Yeah, all right, so I think where we're at, we'll do a wipe down of the deck face, and we can start putting on the next head gasket, head, and valve train, so follow along. All right, we're gonna lay our Permatorque MLS multi-layer steel head gaskets down. These are from Felpro. So this is multiple layers of hardened stainless steel. We've got 3 active layers. So those are the spring layers keeping the seal, and then a stopper layer, so a fire ring essentially.
Yeah, man, he's talking about springs in there. We got new springs in our head too. Conical shaped springs, that's a bonus. Also, we got a valve job. We got the head deck, so it's a real flat mating surface here. Always good advice that when you go to the machine shop, take your parts, have it decked so there's no warpage and so forth from heat and thermal expansion.
Yeah, the other thing too, sorry, with MLS, you don't have quite as much squish like the old composite gaskets. Sure. So this little layer on here needs a smoother surface. So make sure you tell the machine shop what kind of gaskets you're going to use.
There you go. The pitch.
All right, now another little tip, just to keep from scratching your deck face on these dowels, is you can kind of eyeball them right here like this and just kind of roll it up so you're not dragging the thing around fishing for where its home is.
Go to your happy place, go to your home. All right, more torque to yield bolts from our friends at Felpro.
Now these are factory torque to yields. We're throwing the old ones away because they stretch and eventually they'll pop. So let's get all these run down and we start getting the valve train together on this side. All right, we're gonna drop in our last push rods here. Make sure they find home. We've got our rocker shaft base just kind of held in place so it doesn't wiggle around. Yep. And Willie just found the base circle here, so we're gonna have no spring tension. We're not trying to open a valve when we bottom this guy out and run them down. So we can run this guy down, torque it, find the base circle on the next, do the same thing, work our way up and back. These will be done.
Time to cover it up. Now, before you start any motor, especially on a fresh build, you need to prime it. Back in the days of us old school Mopar guys, or even you Chevy guys, and the distributor being back here, we normally just stick a long shaft down, take a drill, and spin that oil pump, the oil all up on the rockers and so forth. Well, the LS guys kind of made it a little difficult because they moved the pump here on this common shaft here on the crank. So in comes the guys from Goodson to save the day. Goodson Tools and Supplies, they make the best pre-lube tank in the industry. Thing holds 12 quarts, has 8 feet long of cord, that's a 1/4 inch, so you're gonna get plenty of oil in there. You simply pressurize the tank, hit the Schrader valve, pushes the oil in the motor, you're all primed, good to go before you drop it in the car and light it off. It's from Goodson Tools and Supply, it's their pre-lube tank. Highly recommend you get one.
Starting to get a little brake squeal, you know your brakes are running on the end of their life. Well, when you're shopping for brakes, check out these Thermal Quiet from Wagner. Now this is a ceramic, it's a low copper formulation which is going to give you a lot of great benefits. Like 15% greater stopping power, but 35% more quiet. You got 40% greater fade resistance, which is great if you're really hammering down, coming down out of the mountains, towing, etc. And you're going to get a longer life and lower dusting. So a great way to upgrade your performance on your brake pads, get a lot of terrific features. Check them out. It's the Wagners, the Thermal Quiet Ceramic. Pick them up at Federated Auto Parts. Check out one of my favorite tools in the shop. Why? Because it's so easy. From Workshop Hero, it's the Metal Rescue Rust Remover Bath. Now, who doesn't like to take a bath, right? Because it's so relaxing. You just soak in it for a while, right? When you get out, you feel all nice and refreshed, nice and clean. Well, check out this wheel. We've got chrome, steel, aluminum, we even have rubber. But the Rust Remover Bath doesn't touch any of that. It just attacks the iron oxide, makes cleaning easy. Now, when you're done, you just hit it with a little bit of the dry coat. Now, the dry coat's gonna keep it rust-free for up to a year's indoor, so you can just set those parts aside once they're clean, and when you're ready to go do some kind of paint or anything else, it's ready for you, it looks clean, it's super awesome.
For this week's Federated Factoid, we're talking about the C5 Corvette. The 1997 C5 Corvette is the first model year completely designed from the ground up to be an actual Corvette. This redesign brought us the introduction of the transaxle, which GM came close to integrating back in 1960. After designing the Q Corvette prototype in 1957, they saw the benefits of balanced weight, less vibration, and with the drum brakes mounted inboard, the unsprung weight was greatly reduced. Recession in the auto industry kept us from getting this complete redesign in 1960, but in 1997, everything changed. Now there's no looking back.
This segment of Two Guys Garage is brought to you by Seatbelt Solutions, the safest seatbelt money can buy.
Here we go. Let's just get it out of the way. We can make some space. Yep, make it easy for us. Pull up the lounge chairs. You know, the recliner.
Yeah, man,
And
just
get to
relax.
work.
Get on the coffee a little bit. Oh yeah, I'm almost there. Just a little bit more. Yeah, now you can see our girl's a little beat down here. Let's be honest. All right, she's got 100,000+ miles, so there's a lot of worn out components, from brakes to suspension parts, ball joint, shocks, and so forth. So we got like a laundry list of new parts we're gonna throw at it and make this thing ride like it was brand new.
Oh man, this side's a mess, dude. Look at this sway bar link.
Dude, I'll see your sway bar link and I'll raise you a tie rod in, man. Look at that. It is trash.
I'll see your tie rod in, and I'll raise you a ball joint.
Okay, I'll see your sway bar link, your tie rod in, and your ball joint, and raise you a rotor and some wore out pads.
Even Steven. All right, looks like we got a lot to do, but hey man, this space is feeling nice. I think we should do this on every car. Just get the car out of the way and leave whatever it is we're gonna work on right there.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun, man. So we're gonna take this entire knuckle off, bring this thing up here so we can get to it, see it, and I love it because it's so exposed like this, makes it easy, simple to work on.
All right, man, pickle it.
Pickle it just a little bit.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
Does it.
all right, let me get the other guy. I think we just pull this whole assembly out of the way and maybe we tag team this corner here. Hold on one second.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
All right, hang on to that whole thing over there, and I will grab this guy. All right, this actually might be kind of interesting. We can maybe split up on this side, tag team, knock that side out.
She's lopsided heavy now.
So, all right, we got a long laundry list, so follow along.
Now, okay, my Corvette, this caliper is just a little bit different. I have the Z51 package on mine. All right, so now got that guy free, and you can hear that little sort of sandy kind of grind in there. Bearings might be dry and so forth. Let's go ahead and get that thing wheel hub off this guy. You can see upon further inspection. How bad that guy really is. Nice. All right, now this is the ABS sensor. Little clip there, it's gonna argue with me a little bit. Okay, hub comes off. And guess what? All of this goes right into the cylinder storage, AKA the trash, because we have all new parts for it. The one thing we're gonna start with is this guy right here. You gotta love new parts.
All right, so we do have a mess up here to take care of, so we just need to start somewhere. I think I'm going to start at the sway bar link. So that's connecting the sway bar to the lower control arm. Now what that's doing, the sway bar obviously is for body roll. So instead of taking a turn and you're swaying actually the outside of the turn, it's keeping your ride pretty flat. Well, if you get slop in here, right, you're going to make that turn, especially on freeway, and you're not going to have anything keeping body roll as the slop gets taken up. So you're going to have some sloppiness, and then it'll bite, and it makes for very uncontrolled steering and handling. Now the other thing you might hear is maybe a little bit of rattling around in these little joints and stuff. So rattling around, maybe in certain weather conditions, squeaking and groaning, maybe in little parking lot maneuvers. But anyway, it's an easy job to fix. All you got to do is pop off these two bolts, replace the joint. So unfortunately, the OEs don't give you a flat. So if you start to spin this thing, it just spins the ball joint. But I'm going to try and grab onto this dude. And since the boot's already gone, I can clamp right on that thing and try to... There we go. Nice. So that's one side. Let's see if I can get the other in a similar fashion. And let's see. There we go. All right. So let me pull that guy off and I'll show you the new one. Okay. All right, so this one is a plastic piece. Nice, cheap OE kind of thing. What I like about this new one from Moog, you know, it's the problem solving. One, I have no serviceability. I have no grease port. So if I want to add any kind of grease, can't do it on the factory one, but I can certainly do it on the Moog. The other one, we had nothing on here, no flat, no hex to put a wrench on to hold one end while I put the nut on the other. But the Moog part has the hex right here. Comes with the fasteners, super easy. So let me throw that guy on there and we'll move on.
It's amazing what a little part washer time will do, huh? Got that front knuckle all cleaned up from the part washer. Got our new Moog wheel hub back in here. Some cool stuff about this guy. Now they got what they call exclusive seal design. That's gonna ensure no kind of contamination gets in this bearing, all right? Because that's the last thing you want. Has laser precision match components to ensure the exact matching of that race against any rolling elements. So you get a really smooth ride. It's got all the ABS function, the clips and so forth. So as you can tell, man, we'll get this back on our rotor, be good to go rolling down the road. When we come back, we'll continue throwing some nice new components on our Two Guys Corvette.
I just learned I have a crack in my engine block. Is there anything I can do before I take my car to the junkyard? Engine block repairs and faulty head gaskets are expensive to fix and sometimes aren't worth repairing depending on the value of your car. One thing you can do is grab a bottle of K&W Fiber Lock head gasket and block repair. K&W Fiber Lock is a permanent fix for a cracked block or head gasket. You don't need to drain the cooling system. Just pour in the product and go. So how does it work? The sodium silicate in Fiberlock is reinforced with military-strength fibers that create a web-like weave over the crack for a multi-layer repair. The pressure released towards the crack forces more product to the damaged area and allows the Fiberlock to cure. Once it cures, the air in the cooling system helps the sodium silicate solidify, making it a permanent repair. This tip is brought to you by CRC Industries, the makers of Brake Clean, the #1 brake parts cleaner. This segment of Two Guys Garage is brought to you by StarTron, enzyme fuel treatment for all engines.
Hey, welcome back. We're working on our 2000 Corvette project. I'm working on suspension, but even though the car's up here, I'm actually working down here. Now we got this sloppy lower ball joint now. Obviously that's going to cause a lot of steering and handling issues, so let's drive this thing out. You just push it out. You don't have to own one of these tools. You could probably borrow one or rent one from your local parts store. So let me see if I can drive this guy out here nice and clean. Nice. All right, one thing you want to make sure is make sure there's no kind of snap ring. Sometimes there's a snap ring on that ball joint. If you try to drive it with that snap ring on, you can damage a lot of stuff. This one's easy. Now we've got a new one here from Moog. And again, it's nice and serviceable. It's got a Zerk fitting here on the bottom. I'm going to wait to put it on until after I've been clumsy with it. I don't snap it off. and then we'll put the new boot on there. We'll be set to go. Now these are great because they've got gusher bearing in there. It's actually a porous sort of cup on the bottom side, lets the grease kind of work its way up and constantly lube that ball, so it's going to have a long life. So let me drive that sucker in and see where we're headed.
Okay, man, she put up a little bit of a fight, but we got it all back together. We've got some thermoquiet brake pads from Wagner, super cool. We got a new rotor, we got a Moog hub in here, but we're not quite done yet. We're gonna add a couple other bells and whistles in the form of brake lines. Now, when you're looking at brake lines, check these out. They're from Crown Performance, they're stainless steel brake lines. Now they're 5 layers, including stainless steel, Kevlar, and everything else. Now, what does that do compared to a normal brake line that's just a couple layers? That means basically no volumetric expansion, right? That line giving you that mushy pedal feeling. And really, when you're driving around, that's what you want, that firmness in the pedal. It meets all DOT specs. They come in all kinds of colors as well. So when you're thinking brake lines, check them out from Crown. Now, we got to get back to work.
But this guy has got to go. I mean, look at that, dude. It is trash. It is sloppy. So we're going to break that jam nut loose, spin her off, and normally I just spin a new one on. But since I'm putting a new boot on, I've got to get past that nut. So this nut's going to come with it, right? So we're going to take both of them off. There's one, and let that one just disappear. There's the other. Now if I just take this last clip off here, I should be able to slide this boot down. There we go. And you can see I marked my tape line here, so I know where to put the new tie rod in. So I can get pretty close alignment right out of the gate. So I can slide that off. I've got my replacement here from Moog. Slide it right over the end, put the new clamps on it, and there goes the tie rod right on the back side. Now we all know how easy it is to get a drive shaft out of a car. Well, the wall you can hit is then how do you service it? Now in the old days, in a lot of applications, you still have the old snap ring. That snap ring holds the U-joint in, you can press out the old one, put a new one in, piece of cake. Well, a lot of drive shafts now, the OEs are saving some money and they're going to non-serviceable units. So instead of the clip, they stake it in, now it's permanently fixed. So you're stuck with having to go to the dealer and pay a premium, or you can go to Dorman because they've got you covered with a complete lineup of brand new assemblies, top to bottom, and they're serviceable. So you can check out their new drive shaft assembly program where you can drop ship one right to you. So you can pick out 1 to 3 days depending on shipping. You can have a brand new assembly ready, and from then on out, you've got a serviceable U-joint so you know you can make easy repairs in the future. Now they've got 100 different part numbers covering 25 million vehicles on the road, so they probably have one for you. And to get more information, check them out at Federated Auto Parts.
All right, guys, let me tell you about Zmax Micro Lubricant. Now, everybody knows ethanol fuel creates moisture, which can cause corrosion inside your fuel system. And ain't nobody got time for corrosion in the fuel system. So in comes Zmax Micro Lubricant. It reduces harmful engine deposits, which is gonna give you more power, better mileage, and a smoother running engine. It soaks into the metal, so that's gonna actually reduce carbon buildup. It can be used on both gas and diesel motors. So it lubricates the surfaces, less carbon, and a smoother running engine. Check it out, it's Zmax Micro Lubricant. Now, for a lot of guys, that's the sound of happiness. Yeah, don't get it twisted. That's the sound that they're gonna go out in the shop and do some real work on their cars and so forth. You remember back in the day when latex gloves first came out and you went to wrench, they would tear, they would dissolve the second you got any chemicals on it. Well, our friends at Adina, the Greek goddess of gloves, totally made that up. They've really done huge advancements in this latex and nitrile glove technology. For example, this Hero glove, this thing's almost a foot long. So if you're up training an oil pan or getting through the valve body or transmission, then normally it would run down and into your pit, be all kinds of uncomfortable. Not with these guys. Get yourself protected, get yourself some good quality gloves. So regardless of what kind of glove you need, Adina has you covered, literally.
For more information about anything you've seen in today's show, check out mavtv.com or visit our website at TwoGuysGarage.com.
Hey, welcome back. Man, we have made some serious progress. Now check out what I got over here on my corner.
Whatever.
I got new boots, you know.
Oh,
I got tie rod ends. I got sway bar links. I got ball joints. I got a whole upright assembly going on.
Yeah, but I got a lot going on here, man. I have a motor, an LS1. See? They even approve, the gods approve of the LS1.
Gonna be hard to argue that, but I've got boots, I've got tie rods, I've got brake rotors, I've got pads, I got new hubs.
Right. But I have Thunder, $7.99 heads, and a new camshaft, and ready, I have ARP fasteners. That alone makes the motor faster. It's got fast in the fasteners.
Well, it sure makes it look good, I'll give you that. But I'm gonna top your cam, your heads, your motor, your fasteners with new shocks.
Ooh.
Yeah, look at these babies.
Okay. Ride Tech is legit. There's no doubt. Those things are awesome.
Yeah. You know why they're awesome too is they got adjustability. So I can change my rebound on the fly. I can dial the car in for what I'm doing with it.
Yeah, man.
I've got killer stainless steel hardware, all the fasteners, man. These shocks are a whole lot better than these old ones. I mean, check this guy out. Whooshy, whooshy, whooshy.
What? Look at that.
Yeah, not much going on there. So these Ride Techs are gonna be a big improvement along with that cam, that, you know, those nice heads and all that other stuff you keep talking about over there. But let me tell you what, this corner is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, man, this car is gonna be awesome. And speaking of awesome cars, you probably should be in your shop twisting and working on yours, man.
Wait, but finish watching the show first, then go out in the garage.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? You got that motor going on, I got my corner going on. What I just realized is you only got one of those to do. I got 3 more.
Yeah.
So you might have a little edge on me.
That means I get it.
Well, hey man, we're gonna wrap up some stuff here, but with that, we're gonna wrap up the show. So you guys stick around for next time. We'll see you then.
Take care.